Today we are talking about the 5 Louis Vuitton items that I do not reach for and kind of regret purchasing. So let's get into it. Hi friends, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. My name's Jonathan. I make luxury videos, unboxings, and reviews. And as I mentioned, we are talking about the 5 Louis Vuitton items that I really don't reach for anymore and kind of regret buying. So let's get started. Starting off strong is going to be the Louis Vuitton City Guides, and I only have 7 of them in my hands, but I do have about 14 or so of them. I think I do have more than that, and these are $42 plus tax each. So that is about $600 plus that I have invested into these City Guides. And as you can tell, they're all shrink wrapped still, which means I have not used them. So why did I end up buying these? I was thinking about having them as decor and coffee table displays. However, I got 14 of them, and when I lived in my apartment, there was only so many of them that you could put around without making it look like it was just a Louis Vuitton display. And so ultimately, I decided to just house these in my closet. And why did I end up buying them? So, for the most part, I was buying them because I wanted to have one from every city. So, in the event that I would travel to these cities, I would have them. However, I didn't really think too far because obviously things change on a yearly basis. Restaurants might not be the same, transit paths could change, and so on. So these are probably outdated now at this point. I honestly could not tell you what year they are from. I think you would have to open these to figure it out. But I want to say, oh, I think if this one's 2022, 2018, 2017. 2019, 2018. Okay, so they're good 5 or 6 years old for some of these. And so, do I regret buying them? Obviously, I naturally don't think I could sell these. And if I do try to sell them, I'll probably get literally nothing for them. So now they are just going to be sitting in my display. So item number 2 that I regret buying is going to be none other than my desk agenda in the size, and this is in the Damier Bean canvas. Tell me why I thought I would be a stationary kind of girly and try to organize myself by carrying a planner. That literally did not last at all. I purchased this, unboxed it, and then it sat in the box for a good couple years until recently, where I just started to get a sketchbook and put it in there. So that way, if I do decide that I want to do some sketching while I'm waiting for something or bored, then I would do that. However, that has not proven to be as successful either. It is more successful, let me say, than having my daily planner in here. I just figured that I would be a writing it down kind of person, but I kind of am more digital than I thought. I do tend to write down a lot of things in my phone. Instead of writing it down, I just quickly write things down on my notes app or send myself text messages. So I thought that having this would kind of alleviate that, but I don't actually reach for it. And with my new role at work, I thought I would be more organized by having a planner to kind of manage my day to day. However, I've yet to bring this. So we shall see. And I believe I paid about 700 Canadian dollars for it. So right now it just sits underneath my popcorn bag on my display. Hopefully I'll get some use out of it. I just don't know why I haven't tried selling it. I feel as though if I do try to sell it, I won't get as much money for it. And because this is essentially in brand new condition, literally, I've probably only sketched like 1 or 2 things in here, and I've never used it as a desk agenda. So it is, I think, in my opinion, pristine, but that's just me. So that's why I don't feel like I would sell it, because I know I would not get what I would pay for it. So that's why I still keep it in my collection. So item number 3 is going to be none other than my Sacador's Hackle. And this is in the PM size, if I'm not mistaken. And so, fun fact, this was actually my very, very, very first Louis Vuitton handbag. I did purchase this one pre-loved, so it does show significant signs of wear. However, I have not reached for this bag. I want to say within the last 4 years. It just literally stays on my display. While I did love it when I first got it, it does resemble the Palm Springs Mini because it does have the removable strap option as well as the versatility as to how you can wear it. However, as I started to accumulate more bags, as you can tell, I gravitate towards more mini or nano bags. So this one was kind of too big for me. Although it is not the biggest bag in my collection, I would kind of say that my Michael Kors backpack or my Palm Springs backpack would be bigger than this. However, I just don't reach for it anymore. I feel as though this was a really good bag at the time. However, just with how my lifestyle adapted and just what I gravitate towards, I just don't tend to use it. And so I would not entertain selling this bag because it was my first. I am a Cancer, so we do love our sentimental things. And so that's why I still keep it in my collection. It is very, very monumental to me, and I will always have that memory of being my very first LV bag. The fourth item from Louis Vuitton in my collection that I kind of regret buying and just don't reach for anymore is going to be my Christopher wearable wallet. And as you can tell, I don't have it with me. My mom is actually using it. So I kind of regret it and I kind of don't regret it just because I personally have only worn that bag maybe once or twice, and that was probably a few years ago. It's not a silhouette style that I tend to gravitate towards. I find that the opening is very tight and that front pocket is just kind of useless. I also don't like the fact that the strap is not removable. I find myself gravitating towards more straps that are removable so that way I can have the option of having them on or not. So I don't actually gravitate towards that bag. However, recently my mom has been finding herself asking to borrow that bag, and so I've let her. I'd rather have somebody in my household use it than have them collect dust on my shelf. And the reason why I haven't entertained selling that bag is because, like I said, I've only used that bag maybe once or twice, and my mom has only used it a total of 2 or 3 times herself. So for less than 5 uses, I just can't find myself to sell it because I have seen some of these on the pre-loved market and they are like less than half of retail. And I would rather just keep it at that point because why am I going to give a perfectly brand new bag away for less than half of what I paid for it if I can still get use out of it in some respect, like through my mom. So it is going to be staying in my bag collection just as long as my mom uses it. Maybe I'll just end up gifting it to her and just letting her have it because she's obviously making more use of it than I am. And before I forget, that bag does retail, or at least I paid for it, about 2,000 Canadian dollars. But I do believe now that it is discontinued from Louis Vuitton. So I will put a picture of it here so that way you guys can have an idea as to what I'm talking about. But that is the Christopher wearable wallet. Last but certainly not least, the last item that I don't reach for and regret purchasing probably the most is going to be my Louis Vuitton and Takashi Murakami Toiletry Pouch 26 from the Cherries collection. And as gorgeous as this piece is, I don't think I'm a clutch person. I sold off my Goyard Plumette clutch because it didn't fit into my lifestyle. I have worn this bag once in my life, and honestly, it wasn't the most comfortable. Similar with the popcorn bag. I know I bought that bag for a movie premiere. However, I still love that bag and like how it looks. And so I don't regret that bag yet, but who knows if there's a part two next year, that one might make the list. But we're talking about this bag. This one I probably only wore once, and if you watch the unboxing video, you'll know that this was a full blown panic buy. I was trying to get my hands on the pochette accessoires from the Cherries collection. However, that one was not available when I was trying, and this one popped up. So I'm just like, okay, let's just add it to cart. And naturally, that one came available. So I instantly regret purchasing it. I don't know at the time why I didn't just not take delivery on it or return it. That was obviously a lapse in judgment on my part. However, this one I did think I did pay around $2,500, and I could probably try and sell it, but the collector mindset in me thinks that I would regret it just because I do have the white multicolor 19. So I'm thinking and hoping that Louis Vuitton would release a toiletry pouch 15 in black multicolor or in the cherry blossoms. That is the only Murakami item that I did not get my hands on. So if that does happen, I would have the toiletry pouch trio with the Murakami collection. So that's why I've been holding on to this one in the event that Louis Vuitton does bring back those collections or offers newer silhouettes from those collections. But right now it is just sitting in my display. I do like to look at it. I do like the cherry aspect of it, and I do like that I have the two different styles of cerises that Louis Vuitton did offer, with the sticker like looking one and then the embroidered one. So that's why I do keep it. And I'm also just hoping that Louis Vuitton releases a 15 in either cherry blossom or black multicolor, but we can only dream for that. So this is why I regret it. I used this bag all of once or twice maybe, but it's just more so a display piece for me now. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed today's video. If you like this kind of content or simply want to see more of me, then definitely hit that like and subscribe button. And I would love to hear from you. What are some of your items in your collection that you regret purchasing or just haven't reached for in a very long time, but just can't find yourself to sell? I would love to hear your thoughts. And with that being said, I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye for now.